What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. In this video, we have a small clip from one of Sam Richards' lectures. There's a very specific reason why I chose this clip, is I wanted to illustrate something that we talk about a lot on this channel. Let's get into the video, and I'll catch you guys on the back end and tell you what that is.
You started. What makes you poor? What brought you up here? What led you to say, I probably belong up here?
Okay, so I guess I always kind of knew that I was lower income.
Wait, talk really loud. So
Sorry. I guess I always knew that I was lower income than most people, and I guess I knew that since elementary school, but it didn't hit me until my first week of college when I went to the student aid office, and the lady who was sorting out my student aid, she commented on the fact that I have the Pell Grant, and she was only the lowest of income families get that, and you have the highest amount for it. And I was like, oh fuck.
So what do your parents do?
My dad doesn't work, and my mom works in an office that sells office furniture.
So do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have two older siblings.
Two older siblings? Do they contribute to the family income?
No.
All right.
I don't know. I kind of always knew I was poor. I've always lived in my grandma's basement, with my mom. My mom was a single mom.
Wait, you grew up in your grandmother's basement?
Yeah, it's kind of nice. And so, yeah, my mom made she was, I don't know. My mom passed away last year, so now I'm independent and live off of loans, so. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have a car?
Yeah, it's my mom's.
What year is it?
2010.
2010?
Yeah.
All right, so do you have a credit card?
No.
And Mandy, do you have a car?
Nope.
Do you have credit cards?
I have a debit card.
A debit card?
I kind of always knew I was poor. So my parents, when I was up to age 6, we were living in an apartment. And then my parents separated for about 2 years. And my mom and we moved into this house. And we rented half of it. So we're still living there too. And my mom's the only one with a job in the family. And she makes less than what her job is. She's a nurse too. And she used to make $80,000 every year, but she lost her job, she quit. So now she makes $25,000 a year.
$25,000 a year?
Yeah.
In New York?
In New York, yeah. And she works at a rehab place. Before she used to work at a hospital, one of the popular hospitals in her town.
Dude, so $25,000 a year, just to put Ashley, right?
Yeah.
To put that in perspective, in Johnstown, $25,000 a year would be $75,000 in Johnstown. Okay, Joyful, how about you?
I live in the projects. I knew I was lower class.
When you say projects,
public
tell
housing,
people what that means.
It's like a compound, I'm gonna say a ghetto or something. All the houses look the same. They're all connected. We got paths. It's a little neighborhood. It's actually very nice looking for.
Do you have a car?
No, I'm getting a car though with my refund checks. So.
Do you? Hang on now. No, hang on, dude. Hold tight. Yo, that actually might be a bad idea. So hold tight, right? Because what do you know about a car? What do you know about the costs of a car and everything that goes into it, dude?
I'm going to get I'm not getting an expensive car. I'm getting one off a lot, in a parking lot, maybe $3,000.
Who do you live with?
I live with my mom.
Just your mom?
And I have two siblings and a
Younger
nephew.
or older?
Older.
And do they have cars?
My brother has a car, but his just got repoed. So.
They got repoed?
The repo people.
Where's your mom work?
She's not working right now. She's actually in a rehabilitation because she was in and out the hospital for the last 2 years for a seizure. So she was a drug and alcohol counselor. But yeah, she hasn't been working. She just started getting Social Security.
So she has seizure disorders.
Yeah.
And so she. And do your family have a car?
We only have one car.
Yeah?
It's a 2001 car.
Yeah. So what's the hardest? Let me just. What do you think people misunderstand most about people in your class, in your social class? What do you like when you listen to the news or you listen to talking heads talking about things? Like, what do they misunderstand the most? Like living in the projects, living, living in Johnstown, anybody can speak. Yeah.
Well, I think they misunderstand the fact that we still have jobs. The rent has to get paid one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
People think that you're just like lazy or.
Where do you think people think you get your money?
Like the government, welfare and all of that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not even on welfare, so.
Uh-huh. Somebody else, what do you think people misunderstand most?
Guys, if you enjoy these videos, please consider leaving a thumbs up on the video. It really helps me out. And if you're not already subscribed, maybe this video will be the day that I earn your subscription. Let's get back to the clips.
I live in like a pretty wealthy town. Like there's several parts of like our town that a lot of people have money. Most people are like doctors or lawyers or whatever. So I guess people misunderstand like where I live, it's an average size house. But since we rent half of it, people just assume like, oh, my family makes a lot of money. So like when I tell them like, oh, my mom just rents the half, they get like a little shocked and surprised.
So what you see and what we see is there are these social classes. They're not all completely segregated. So rich people and poor people and middle class people oftentimes are living together, and it can look like I can look at you and look at the four of you and be like, okay, well you look just kind of like the four people who were up here the other day, although you don't, but you do. And so, yeah. What would you say?
I don't think it's like the parents' fault at all, but I think that a lot of people look at the kids differently too, and like. We didn't choose who we were raised by, and like, I don't know, we didn't choose what class we were in, I guess. So like, I don't know, I've worked since I was like 14, and I thought that was normal, and...
Where'd you work?
I worked at a farm until I was 16, and then I worked at the mall, so...
Johnstown Mall?
Yep.
So do you buy your own clothes? Did you buy your own school clothes and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And like if you have a phone, you pay for your own phone?
Yeah.
So when you were living in your grandmother's basement, you were responsible for all those things?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like if I get anything, like my mom's never bought me anything, but if my grandma ever buys me anything, it's like a present, like for like a special occasion. Like I don't just get stuff for fun.
Yeah, you're right. You don't just get some random. Mandy, how about you? Do you pay all your bills?
I do.
Like where do you work now?
I've worked since I was 16, but like right now I work at Pollock, and I hate it, but it's money.
How many hours a week?
My maximum is 20, and I hit that every week.
Yeah. And so your phone and like everything is you?
Yeah, I pay for my phone, I pay for school, I pay for my apartment. Like I hate like asking my parents for money, and I never do. So like I don't ask them to pay my tuition.
Uh-huh. So it's similar to what, I forget who it was who said the same thing, like who's the Persian woman? So you were saying the same thing about your parents, like you don't want to ask them for money, being like the good child. So it's a similar kind of thing. It's very, yeah. Mm-hmm. What are like some of the positive things about being in your social class? Like what's something positive?
Oh, I play the I'm poor card all the time, so I never pay for anything if I don't have to.
You mean like when you're with friends and stuff?
Oh, yeah. People just buy
Remember
stuff
that.
for me, and I love it.
Yeah. What's something else? Do you have anything? Like what's something positive, right? Because we think about poverty and we think, oh my God, this is terrible. And like.
Well, I know I live in the projects, but it's really like a community. Like we have block parties, I think like the hood, the ghetto, the projects, we are the only people that have like community, like built things. We clean up the neighborhood together. So I think it's not as bad as it's looked at.
Is often looked at.
Yeah.
So there's a community side to it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I guess like having friends that like their families make above average is pretty cool to like hang out with them, because one of my friends has this huge house, and I used to like go there all the time and like not spend that much time in my house.
Mm-hmm. How about something else? Like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. What's something positive that you've gotten?
I don't know, like it was always just me and my mom, and I feel like we were really close because of it. Like, I don't know, I never like had actual dinners whenever my mom was working and stuff, so like, I don't know, like we like always like I always used to pay for stuff too, and I think it made us like super close. And like a lot of my family isn't in poverty, so like a lot of my family helps me too, I guess. So like I don't know, I could be poor.
Props to these 4 young ladies, before I say what I want to say, for going in front of a class, in front of their peers, and talking about their social economic status, their parents' situation, their situation. I'm sure that's not easy for a lot of people to do. What I really wanted to illustrate here is something that we talk about on this channel all the time, and that is fatherless homes. And this is what these young ladies have in common. White, black, brown, Asian, won't matter. You don't have a father at home, or in this case, unemployed dad, deadbeat dad, some of them. It doesn't matter what your social economic class is. You are less likely to succeed if you don't have a father in the home. And that's not to say that there's not some great single moms out there crushing it for their daughters and their sons. I'm just saying it is much harder, and the statistics show that. If you have a young boy or a young girl from a fatherless home in the same social economic class as another young boy, young girl, with 2 parents at home instilling good morals, good values into them, that kid with both parents at home, regardless of the race of the 2 kids that we're talking about, is statistically more likely to succeed and do better than the kid with only 1 parent at home. It is our job as parents to set up our kids properly, set up their future, to make sure that we have enough money, enough income, that we teach them good morals, good ethics to be able to provide for them. And sure, that's not easy, but privilege in 2024 is having 2 parents at home instilling good morals into you, good values, work ethic, all this stuff. Now, these young ladies all seem like they're going to do just fine in life, but it is harder when you start, quote unquote, behind the 8 ball. And that doesn't matter if you're black, brown, white, Asian, but this is why you often don't see Asian people in these situations. Asian families generally have both parents at home. That's why you see the median household income in Asian families. Often when they come to America, they'll stay 5 or 6 family members in the same house. Aunts, uncles, so they can really pile up their money and save and invest and buy property and set up their kids for their kids' future. They put a lot of value in higher education, Asian families do generally. We all have equal opportunity in 2024. You have a chance, right? No matter what, you got a chance, but it's a lot easier to get through life if your parents have made the right decisions for you in order to set you up properly. Not saying you can't do it without that, but it is much easier. That's why when you have laws like affirmative action that we had that give preferential treatment to maybe brown and black people from lower income communities, the Asian community was very much affected by this. They had to score more than a white kid, for example, to get into an Ivy League university because they had too many Asians already crushing it in those universities going to study in the STEM fields. Students that their parents had set them up properly for their future, and now these kids can't make it on their own merit. This is why stuff like affirmative action is absolutely horrible, because it judges people based on race and based on gender instead of on merit. Great little video. I love Sam Richards' channel. As you guys know, I react to a lot of his videos. I love sharing them with you. You guys seem to like him too. So that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, help it grow, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.